Hey everyone, this is Neil Barnhill and Kyle Clapper of BGI. Welcome to episode 9 of Talking Golf with BGI with special guest Eddie Fernandes, aka Fast Eddie. Barnhill Golf Institute would like to recognize all of our incredible business partners, Wilson Golf, Flight Scope, SkyTrak and SkyCaddy, Tour Striker, True Speed Golf, the Force Pedals, the Net Return, the WEC Method, and Real Field Golf Mats. Eddie, before we start, I want to let our viewers know about your amazing career. Eddie won the individual state championship in high school. He attended Central Connecticut State University, where he won 5 college events, was a 4-time all-conference selection, and a 2-time conference player of the year. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame of his high school and college alma maters. Won 25 professional mini tour events from 1997 to 2004, including 7 in a row in 2004. Competed in the PGA Tour Q School 5 times, qualifying to the second stage twice. Currently number 1 in the Masters World Long Drive Tour ranking and number 14 overall. 2015 U.S. Senior Long Drive Champion, 2018 Masters World Long Drive Champion, 2018 Endless Summer Invitational Champion, where he was the oldest Open Division winner in history at age 47, 2019 World Long Drive ROC Rumble Masters Champion, 2019 Masters World Long Drive runner-up. Eddie, we want to thank you for taking the time with spending us today, man. Me and Kyle are so excited to have you on the show, man. This is going to be so incredible.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So you turn 50 later this year, Eddie. And what are your goals in 2020 for the World Long Drive Tour and the Champions Tour qualifying?
Yeah, so, this year has been too bad we just can't, hit repeat or, go back to the January
fast forward or start over or something.
Exactly.
But exactly. But so COVID-19 has really thrown a wrench into everything that I'm doing and everybody else. I mean, the whole country and the whole world is pretty much reeling from this whole pandemic and everything else that's going on. So it's but you know what? I've stayed focused. I'm just truly blessed that Bella Collina has been open. My home club has been open the whole time, and they've really taken great precautions on safety and social distancing and everything. And I've been truly blessed and lucky that they've been open. I've gotten a lot of work in on my game, and with World Long Drive came out, I believe it was the end of March, and they pretty much canceled the season. The World Championships were still on, which were supposed to be played over Labor Day weekend in Chicago, and that ultimately got canceled as well. So as of right now, there's no World Long Drive events. So I'm just kind of focused on playing, and I'll turn 50 in November, and I'm excited. I'm really excited for the opportunity.
So, hey, tell us, I was talking to Kyle the other day, and I don't know what's the process for qualifying for the Champions Tour?
There's Q School. So there's qualified, just like the PGA Tour. There's 2 stages. The first stage is, I believe it's 4 rounds, and then the finals. So there's first stage and then finals. I believe top 19 and ties make it to the finals, and then the top 5 at the finals get their Champions Tour cards for the following year. And obviously it's the toughest tour to qualify for, but I feel like if I play well and I'll be right there.
Well, talking about playing well, all right, you sent me your scorecard. All right, you're being very modest and humble, man. I see that grin.
Yeah.
62.
Yep.
And I don't know if that was last, but you can tell us, but 62, and then you backed it up the next day with a 63. And we were just talking before we came on air, man. That 62, you were 6 under on the par 5s. The next day, 63, you were only 1 under on the par 5s. Can you take us through some shots on both of those days? And your putting, you had, 25 putts?
25 putts, 25, and I think 26.
26 or 27. Yeah, 26 putts on the second day.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So the cool thing is, guys, I have this, I went to, luckily, Bubba Watson's caddy, Teddy Scott, reached out to me, and he brought me to a seminar over Bay Hill by Scott Fawcett called Decade. It's about course management and things like that. So I spent 3.5 hours there just listening and taking it all in. And I've never really had course management, really good course management skills. So I feel at 49, I'm starting to understand how to play golf, really how to score in position and things like that, where I can use my length to my advantage. So the cool thing is I've been doing that with Decade, my course management. And then there's an app called Birdie Fire, which kind of is in conjunction with Decade. So the scorecards that I sent you, after the round, I can kind of plot every shot I hit. So Bella Colina's in there, so I can plot every single shot I hit, and then it gives me strokes gained putting, strokes gained off the tee, approach, and around the green. So I can compare my strokes gained to the best in the world on the PGA Tour. So, because even though it's 170 at a different golf course that they're playing, it's still 170 yards. They're going to hit it, strokes gained are X from 170 or 140 or 120 or whatever. So I can kind of see where I stack up against the best players in the world. And just the data that it gives you is absolutely incredible. And it's helped me out tremendously.
Eddie, when you bring up that course management, are you, again, because I can't even fathom hitting it as far as you, is it, I've always been taught by Neil, especially, hitting to spots, hitting to the club that you want to hit into the green. When you're as long as you, is that the same type of mentality, or is it because of your skill level is so much beyond like an amateur of myself, and your length is so much beyond mine? Is there a next level of course management that I honestly don't know about?
Yeah, I only hit about 6 drivers at Bella, believe it or not. I mean, and here's the thing with my length, my club head speed, I'll carry my 18-degree hybrid 280. I can back off of it a little bit. I hit my 3-wood, I can carry it 310. And my driver, when I step on it, it's 340 plus. So I can carry my driver anywhere between 320 and 350. Depending on the hole.
It's a different game.
As you guys know, at Bella Colina, number 5, number 12. I mean, it's green light. Just absolutely let it rip. And then there's some other holes, like 9 is kind of a funky hole. I'll usually hit 3-wood off that tee. And there's a bunch of 3-woods. I hit a 3-wood off a 2, hit a little draw right over the bunker there, and it's helped me. Instead of the pass, I'd hit driver everywhere. And I'd hit it at every flagstick, and wondering why I was making so many bogeys. And it's just, after really learning where the pros hit it, like when I first learned that the PGA Tour average from 8 feet is 50%, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Exactly.
It's almost like when you watch TV and you watch golfers on TV and the Rorys and the Tigers and everyone else, you think that, wow, these guys are making the average PGA Tour player, best players in the world, only averaging 5 out of 10. So that almost like takes a lot of pressure off you. Okay, I might make it, I might miss it, whatever. You can't control it. So, but once I really learned the statistics, the real hard data of tour players, I mean, you think they hit it so much closer than they actually do, and you think they make so many more putts and they actually do. So that was kind of an eye opener for me,
Yeah, I've seen your Instagram and you keep your hashtag flow.
Yeah.
Talk, and I saw the hashtag be water, to show the other night 30 for 30.
Bruce Lee is one of my favorites. I was watching him as a kid. So just what an incredible talent. Just amazing how he changed the world, really. And he was an incredible martial artist. every time I watch him, like my wife and I watched the movie about a month ago. I think it was The Big Boss. I think that was his first or second movie.
I think so.
And it was just amazing how incredible he was.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, it's about flow. It's about, you know, just allowing yourself to be athletic. You know, when I see players or junior players, I remember in the 90s, I think it was Jim McClain came out with the X Factor, you know, try to get more, you know, more shoulder rotation, less hip rotation, kind of keeping the lower body stable and not, you know, kind of resisting the lower body. Man, if I do that, I feel that in my lower back. And I've never been injured before. So I like to, you know, I'm an athlete. So, you know, I believe in swinging like an athlete, and it's an athletic move, especially long drive, you know.
And you got a great swing, Eddie. I mean, I don't know when that was on Instagram, but I was telling Kyle that, you know, Tiger talking about your swing and how awesome, because it is awesome, man. I mean, what are you, 6'4", 6'5"?
Yeah, 6'4".
So you got a nice classic takeaway, wide, nice high arc.
Yeah.
I mean, that left knee gets behind the ball, big turn. And I mean, it's one of the most beautiful swings out there on the long drive tour.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks. You know, Neil, I'm truly blessed, really blessed that I'm healthy, really good genetics, come from a very athletic family. And I've had great coaching along the way. My coach, Lucas Wald, we've, you know, worked really hard together after 2017, after I lost and felt like I shouldn't lose. So there was one missing piece. So we worked out a lot of sequence drills and things like that. So Lucas has been a huge help to me, and it's been a pretty cool process. But I'm blessed never to have an injury. I've never broken a bone. I've never a ligament, a tendon. You know, outside of a sprained ankle, probably playing basketball when I was a kid. That's about it. You know, but truly blessed that I have been healthy, and I plan on staying healthy because of my gym regimen and my training and the way I eat and things like that. So,
well, you're very humble with that, because I know that I've seen you over the years with your workouts. You know, it's not an accident that you haven't been hurt. I tell you what, you train properly. You make sure everything's done mechanically correct. I do the same thing. I've never been injured either. I'm 48, and it's not by accident. I don't do stuff that's too heavy, and I make sure my form is right on. So I'm sure you can.
Absolutely. You got to check your ego in at the door, man. If there's no, you know, you're not getting a check when you go into the gym. I mean, that's part of it, but it's you know, you have to. It's all about balance. And people, I get asked this when I do charity events or corporate events. I get asked all the time, you know, how could you be 48 or 49 years old and be hitting the ball this far and creating that much speed? And I tell them it's about balance of the body. It's, you know, I do things forward, backwards, side to side, diagonal. So I'm moving in all different directions. And I did a post on Instagram where I took my right-handed driver and I turned it upside down and hit it lefty, and I was, you know, 126. I can get it up to about 126.
Oh, okay.
And
that's good.
So, but I can get it up in the low 130s if I had a lefty driver and I, you know, was practicing a little bit.
Dang, that's awesome, man.
All right, we're done here.
Hey, I
have no idea where it's going, but that's one of the things, you know. If I just kept hitting balls righty, something would break down. So you have to have balance in strength, power, mobility, and flexibility on both sides. So, and that's been a huge help. My buddy, Jeff Flagg, who won the 2014 World Long Drive Championship, he's been training me. I also worked out with Barrett Stover in the past couple of years as well. And just, I've had some incredible, Tommy Asuma up at Smart Golf and Fitness up in Chicago when I lived there for a few years. And that's where I really got started in long drive. And just, you know, I've had some great guys helping me out and training me and really leading me in the right direction. And I'm just extremely thankful for that.
And I tell you what, Eddie, that to me, that excites me. I've been in the fitness, you know, industry for a little bit, and I'm obviously a PGA pro, but, you know, fitness is such a big thing. and it's not going away. And people like you and, other guys like Bryson DeChambeau out there that are, Tiger started it, Gary Player back in the day. But I tell you, it only helps. People think you get stronger or bigger, that you're going to lose your flexibility. It can be further from the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. When I hear people, I got to stretch. Well, I really don't stretch that much. I do more mobility stuff. You think about it, Neil, right? You think about and this might be good for all the viewers that are watching this. If you take a rubber band and you keep stretching it and you keep stretching it and you keep stretching it, what happens after a while? It's just going to go limp, right? You need something to snap it back, right? So not that you need to be tight, but you need to be those tendons and ligaments and everything. They've got to be ready to go. They got to be ready to fire. So if they're loose and kind of flaccid and I don't, and that's what I've been taught. So, and it's worked for me over the course of the last few years. And talking about Bryson, I was able to spend some time with him on the range at Bay Hill, and I'll tell you what, he's a monster. It's really cool to see him, pick my brain and sharing some stuff with him about speed. And he's number one in driving distance, 321, right? He went from 297 or 98, which I think he might've been 21st or 20 in the 20s somewhere. Now he's number one. So his strokes gained, I think he's in the top 5 in strokes gained off the tee. So if you look at the guys that make the most money and the guys that win the most, I mean, those guys are right up at the top in driving distance and strokes gained off the tee.
You got to have that speed, man, and the training and everything. And you're seeing it everywhere where you look at Instagram. Speed.
Absolutely.
I tell you what, doing it right, with the hip action. That's how I learned, Eddie. And I'll talk to Kyle about it. It's just interesting, that X factor. I did it for years. And, I had a couple of kids that got out of playing for a little bit. But, man, I had to go to a chiropractor for a year and a half. My left side was all jacked up. My vertebrae was off. And, and then, the last couple of years, I started picking my left foot up again.
Yeah.
Big pivot. And I've gotten up, well, you'll laugh at me, I've gotten up to 115 miles an hour by doing some training with the RMT club, which is mobility. Yeah. I still do a lot of CrossFit stuff, but I stretch a little bit. But I tell you, it's just that mobility stuff, like you're talking about, in the training that I use, has made a huge difference. And Kyle can tell you that.
I mean, from when I first started playing with Neil, his swing didn't match his body type. I mean, this super athletic guy is making this. Again, I'm an amateur observing this very rigid swing. And now with him just saying, the heck with the X factor, I'm just going to make a really athletic swing and pick that heel up and put it back down and he's picked up so much power. And for me, being a bigger guy myself, Neil's got me working out, but I'm working on my turn. I pick my front heel up. I try to make that full turn. So, it just plays a big part of that, making that athletic swing.
Yeah, no doubt. And that core speed is important as well. So, lifted, I just did an article in Golf Tips magazine about the left hip the right hip and the left knee moving in conjunction. So when that right hip, you get into that right hip in the backswing, the left knee follows it. And then, when it plants at that core, it's almost like it just rotate and just let it go. So yeah, swinging athletically, even putting athletically. That's the one thing I changed with my buddy, TJ Cosgrove, who you guys know. Great. One of the best putters I've seen. I played a lot of golf with TJ. He spent a lot of time with Tiger as a playing pro at Isleworth. And he's got some great information on putting, and we've just kind of started, putting athletically, and some of the rounds I've shot lately are indicative of the work that we've put in, and it's going to be fun, and it's a lot of fun. So
TJ is actually in chat right now, and he's talking about how amazing your left-handed swing is, and that just makes me feel bad as an amateur. But yeah, hearing you can go left-handed 130. Okay, all right. I need to go hit the gym.
I don't know where it's going. I have no idea where it's going.
I've been playing from the right side, and I don't know where it's going.
Getting better, man. You're being modest, man. So, hey, Eddie, what's cool about, you're such a very accomplished player. You came from, a great junior career, You won 5 times in college, 25 professional mini tour wins, which down here in Central Florida is not easy to do. I played on them with TJ. I was playing on those moonlight tours when you were playing on it. I mean, what is it like being on the World Long Drive Tour?
It's fun. You know, it's a different type of, I mean, I'm 6'4", 215, and I'm like one of the smallest guys out there. It's crazy. You know, you get Martin Borgmeyer from Germany. He's 6'5", like 245. He's like carved out of granite. My buddy Jeff Flagg, 6'6", 240. You know, some of the shorter guys like Justin James, world champion 2017. Justin's probably 5'10", but he's like 215. I mean, he's just built like, it's just like
Ryan Steinberg.
So strong, you know, just so powerful and so strong. And the one thing where I believe, you know, I have an advantage is I'm not as fast as Kyle Berkshire. I don't think anybody is outside of Borgmeyer or Justin. And there's a few guys that can get up to 225 plus ball speed. But, you know, and TJ, actually, we talked about this, and he's like, Eddie, you're a golf professional that hits it really far. You're not a long drive pro. Because, you know, you think of a long driver, you think of, you know, guys 6'8", 340, and, you know, swings at 290 miles an hour, right? Yeah. And so I do corporate events or charity events. People are like, well, you don't look like a long driver. I'm like, well, what does that mean? I mean, I'm not small. I don't think I'm small, right? 6'4", 210, 215. And, but you know, some of these guys are just monsters, you know, Ryan Steenberg. I mean, these guys are just so strong, and they just look, they're just, they weight lift all the time. And I do a lot of body weight stuff. I'm 49 years old, so I know what my future holds for me. I don't need to go in and bench press, you know, 415 or squat 600. I need to do exactly what I need to do to increase my odds of being successful playing golf. So, and that's what I'm doing.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's some guys out there. I was just watching it today when I was eating lunch out there before my lesson in between my junior camping, and they had I don't even know what year it was, but I watched Kyle Berkshire. I think he was against Tim Burke.
Yeah.
He made it through that. And then it was Justin James. I forget who was playing it, but it was, wow.
Yeah. And Timmy's a good friend of mine, Tim Burke, 2-time world champ. And it's cool because when I first got into it, I saw, you know, I watched it in 2013, and that's the first year Tim won. And, you know, I'm like, man, that'd be cool. I wonder, you know, I never knew what my speed was because I didn't play since the second stage of Q school in 2004. So, first time I went and I got checked, I was 134 club head speed and 196 ball speed with a 44.5-inch R7. So, so it was like, wow. The guys are like, how old are you? 43? What? So, but that's just, you know, that's a testament, guys. Like I said before, I'm just blessed that I've been healthy and I've got genetics and it's time, you know, it's just, it wasn't the right timing back, you know, 10, 15 years ago, but, or 15 to 20 years ago. But I really feel this is my time. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be able to play and to be a, you know, world champion in the Masters division and a lot of great opportunities lie ahead. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's awesome, Eddie. All right. I've been wanting to ask you this question for a while here. This is one, I really want to hear this one. All right. Take us through the mindset 1 hour before you compete in the World Long Drive Tour, and you are in the final 8, which you get there quite often, and it's being covered on ESPN.
Yeah, Golf Channel, actually.
And the Golf Channel, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know what? I pretty much have a routine where I get there maybe an hour and 15 minutes beforehand. I usually eat a couple hours before I'm ready to hit. Get out there, I go through my dynamic warm-up, do what I need to do, 15, 20 minutes, get everything from head to toe, get ready to go, get it activated. And then I'll go out and I'll just, I'll get some swings in, maybe some 2 irons, and then I'll start letting it go. It doesn't really take me long to get warmed up, even for an old guy like me. So, but yeah, I usually hit in the final 8, probably 20 to 25 drivers. And then I'm pretty much right at full speed. It was funny at Bay Hill, going back to Bryson, he goes, Eddie, I want to see you hit some drivers. So he had one of his guys grab me a driver, and my first swing out of I haven't warmed up all. I mean, obviously I was just standing on the range. My first swing was 188 ball speed. My next one was 196. The next one was 198, and my fourth one was 201. So, and it's just again, blessed that I've had great trainers. I don't need to stretch for an hour or, warm up for an hour. I can pretty much go from zero to 100 in no time at all. And that's, again, genetics, great trainers, and the right mindset as well.
All right. So you're a more traditionalist. Okay. So I've watched it. Kyle's watched it. Now Metallica's playing. I can't remember who it is. Fog's coming out, and take us through a couple of the players. You don't have to mention their names, but what are some of the more extravagant warm ups or coming out to get ready to hit?
Yeah, what? Everybody's kind of in their own little zone. It's not, Steenberg kind of comes out. He kind of gives it. He's probably 5'9", 5'10". He's like 240. I mean, he's a monster, and he kind of comes out and he does his thing, and it's a show, right? It's entertainment, and to see guys, especially these guys that are 5'9", 5'10", and they're putting up 150 miles an hour club head speed. People think you have to be 6'4" or 6'6". I'm like, it doesn't. It's all about explosiveness. Look at Jamie Sidlowski.
Oh.
Jamie, 5'10", 175, and he was swinging 150. I mean, the guy you'd never know it, but then one of the great swings in long drive history. But when you're talking about when the smoke's coming up and the music's going, my first time there, I was so jacked up and I was so ready to go. You really, the thing I've learned about being out in the final 8 so many times and being on TV live is I've learned to manage the adrenaline, and that is the key, especially in long drive, because you can get so hopped up that it's just, you're just on another planet. But if you can just take some breaths and just take care of business. And that's kind of what I would tell myself after the first couple of times being in that situation. And when I won in 2018, I was just so locked in. And my wife, when she was actually in Chicago with my mother-in-law's 80th birthday with the kids, they were celebrating it in Chicago. And she said, as soon as I saw you walk through the tunnel, I knew you were going to win, because I saw that look, and I was just completely locked in. And when I get like that, it's a fun feeling, because I know everything's on point. I've done the work. Now it's just time to just let it go.
Oh, that's awesome. Kyle can attest to this. We did a video on the YouTube channel about the 8 shots, Kyle.
Yeah.
And I was just videoing. I was like, he's getting ready for the amateur long drive here in Florida, and he hits them. Well, everything went awry with all this, but anyways, we shot that video, and he was he went through it. I think he hit him in about 52 seconds, and I was sweating. I was like, dude, you got to calm down. We're just doing a video. I
was topping out at hold on to your shorts here, 118, 120,
All right.
Well, that's kind of a big deal. I'll sign autographs after the show.
Yeah.
What do you tell to a future long drive player, Eddie? Like me, I realize that I probably will never pursue it like you, and because I don't think I have that ability. But what would you say to somebody that is trying to maybe dip their toes into it a little bit? What's the first step?
Oh man, if you're at 120,
probably 120. Yeah, I'm 120.
That's a 45-inch club he's playing with too.
Yeah, I would say you know what, Neil, the difference between club head speed might be 5 miles an hour.
Okay.
It's not that much. So, 48 for an extra 3 inches, it might be 5 miles an hour.
Okay.
Usually, when I'm in long drive shape and I'm ready to rip it, I'm 145 to 148, 149 at my peak. And when I'm playing golf, I'm 126 to 136.
Okay.
So, I'm 10 to 12 miles an hour slower, but I'm also trying to, I'm not trying to reach back and let it rip on every driver when I'm playing, obviously.
Yeah.
What I would tell, lower body, core strength, you know, and just balance of the body, and just kind of reach back, and you just have to let it go. That's the biggest thing, because so many guys, they get in that situation, and same thing with golf, they tighten up. You know, if you look at Usain Bolt, I mean, you can see every single muscle, he's just flowing. And that's one of the things that my mantra, I think about it every day. It's about flow, you know, short game, putting, driving, you know, everything is, you know, you get too tight, you start gripping a little too tight, you start trying to control it, you're going to have less control.
And
so
that's such an important thing. It's not, you know, it's not going out and spending, you know, $1,200 on 3 drivers and all this other kind of stuff. Because I know Neil and I played a lot of golf together, and some of the longest, like, you know, I'm kind of bringing up that 3-wood that I hit on 16 at Bella, like, or not at Bella, but at a Sanctuary Ridge, and I probably carried it 270, 280,
270.
Yeah. I mean, and it was the most relaxed swing I've ever had, and it wasn't me trying to, you know, squeeze and grip it and just trying to swing out of my shoes. It was just a relaxed, free swing, a swing that flowed, and I think that's so important for so many people to hear. Hugely important.
You know, you can swing fast. I think you guys have seen my golf swing. It doesn't, like, a lot of people say, man, it doesn't look like you're swinging, you know, 145 or 135, but it sounds like it. You know, it's got that sound.
Absolutely.
But that the sequence is proper. When my sequence is good, everything is flowing, and the ball just explodes off the club face. And it doesn't, like I told Bryson this, I said, Bryson, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So that's why when I can swing 212, 215, and then I can back it down to, you know, when I'm getting after it on the golf course, 201 to 203, it feels like I'm swinging in slow motion. It really does, because I've got that, you know, that gear that I can get after it if I want to, which I really never do on the golf course. Only a couple holes. And it makes me laugh. Like, a lot of guys like, oh, we'll get you on a tight golf course and we'll see what you do. Well, listen, bud, I'm not going to be hitting driver on a tight golf course. I'm going to just be hitting my 2 hybrid, you know, 280 or a 4-iron 250. You know, I don't, you know, I don't need to hit driver, you know, if it's a tight golf course. I mean, yeah, I'd love to, but it, you know, probably wouldn't be the greatest idea to do that, especially on a tight golf course.
But Eddie, I mean, the ultimate long drive guy before this all started was Jack Nicklaus. Yeah. He had another gear. He could do whatever. He could hit it as far as he wanted.
Absolutely.
You know, with that equipment. I mean, I've seen Bob Grissett, you know, the guy he posts those videos of all those old time swingers.
Yes.
And he showed Jack when he was like 18, 19, and his right leg was totally extended on the backswing.
Incredible.
A totally complete turn, left foot up, and just hammering it. I mean,
talk about athleticism.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where the whole restrict the lower body came from, because, I mean, the best players in the world, the best swings ever. You look at Hogan, Nicklaus, Snead,
Palmer.
I mean,
they all did it.
These guys rotated, and they had flow, and they just absolutely ripped it. And I don't know. I mean, maybe for a little control, but I mean, you look at the guys that make the most money in the PGA Tour, and you tell me how far they hit it. They're not hitting at 260.
Yeah, I would say from a teaching standpoint, that X Factor has its place for maybe a small sect of people for their body style.
Of course.
I've been reading with the Mike Adams and Dr. Thomas A. and, you know, Dr. Jim Suddy, but it's a small sect of people. It ain't like how they said everybody needs to be the X Factor.
That's
so untrue.
Yeah.
That was so bogus.
A lot of injuries. A lot of
injuries. A lot.
And it's funny, I saw a still shot of Michelle Wee when she was working with David Ledbetter, and he had like a band holding her left knee, you know, when he was at the target, and he was holding her left knee in place. And I tried to keep my left knee in the same place and try to rotate. And I'll tell you what, man, it doesn't feel good.
It hurts.
It does not feel good. It really does. And,
it hurts.
And your body was meant to, you know, to coil up and rotate but yeah, it's pretty cool. Once I got with Lucas and we changed a few things around and really started reaping the benefits of a proper sequence and and a really good, efficient golf swing.
Yep. All right. So, hey, Kyle, real quick, because I want to kind of answer a little bit of Kyle, and you give me your feedback on this, because I mean, he works full time. There's a lot of guys out there who work full time, and he's a weekend warrior.
Yep.
Loves golf, absolutely loves golf. He could do the long drive thing, but he gets up at 5:30 in the morning. The last year and a half, and I give him a lot of credit. He's doing workouts. He's in better shape, but realistically, how many times a week he's got a net he can hit in the garage? How many times a week him working full time? 3, 5. What would you say to just the people working out there that would like to do this amateur long drive and maybe possibly get into it?
Yeah, I would say 3 times a week. Hit 3 times a week. Regular golf probably isn't conducive to long drive. I mean, I just did long drive from 2014 to this year. And it's hard to do both. To hit those little shots and when you're gassing it up and you're swinging. I mean, if you've seen my long drive swing, it's pretty deep. I get it back there way past parallel, and now it might be to parallel, but maybe a little bit past it. But I would say I was practicing. I was hitting balls 3 times a week, pure long drive, and I'd hit 70 to 90 balls per session. And I'd work out 3 to 4 times a week. So my total long drive training sessions between hitting and working out were probably maybe 10 hours, 10, 11, maybe. That's it. It's all you need. I mean, playing golf is a different animal. Yeah. Obviously short game and wedges and things like that. But long drive, I mean, 10 to 12 hours a week, that's all you need. But you have to make sure that you're working both sides, med ball tosses, left and right, up and down, sprints are great. Anything that you can incorporate those fast twitch muscle fibers. I don't care if it's sprinting. I don't care if it's box jumps. You have to be explosive. In order to be explosive, swing a golf club explosively, you have to train explosively. And it worked for me.
And I love the fact you mentioned the non-dominant side, because Kyle attests to this, that I've been doing a lot of videos with the RMT. Yeah. And a lot of my posts on the Instagram when I do sledge is all you got to do non-dominant. When I throw that ball into the wall, it is both sides. You can, and I'm trying to make that point. So I'm glad you're reiterating that.
For sure. You have to in even regular golf.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're like Jason. I did Jason Day's charity event for his Brighter Days Foundation a few years ago. Raised money for his foundation, and we talked for 35, 40 minutes afterwards. And he couldn't believe I was 47 at the time and never injured. And Jason, unfortunately, he's had a history of back issues and he's just had so many issues. And I pretty much gave him an open invitation to, hey man, come down and see what I do. I mean, there's no secret. It's, I'll show you exactly what I do, how I do it. And I don't know. I mean, you look at Tiger too. Tiger's, he's had so many surgeries. Hopefully he's got a few good tournaments left in him, but it's tough when you go under the knife and you go under surgeries and issues and injuries. It takes its toll. But again, I've been blessed with really good health, and I've never tried to do too much in the gym. I've never tried to push it. I know exactly what I need to do. I'm going in there to get better at my craft, which is now playing golf. So, and that's what I'm going to do.
All right, Kyle's got some. I want to turn your hat around. Some quick hitters for you, man.
Hitters for you. All right. So here we go. Don't just answer. Don't even think. All right, here we go. Right. Favorite club, not the driver.
Oh, putter.
Most nervous you have ever been on a golf course.
Oh God, hitting at Danny Werfel's event in front of Coach Spurrier. First, I swear to God, I know this is supposed to be quick, but I got to tell you the story real quick. So I do Danny Werfel's event up at Sawgrass, TPC Sawgrass every year. And it was freezing in October. It was like 52 degrees, windy. It was raw. And Coach Spurrier and Gary Koch are in my very first group on my tee. And I warmed up and went in. They introduced me and stuff, going to be out there raising money. And Coach Spurrier comes up. He goes, "Okay, let's see a good one." I'm like, "Oh my god!" So luckily, I piped it right down the slot. And he goes, "All right, that's a good one. We'll take that one." I'm like, I'm dead serious. I was so nervous over that ball because, I mean, I know a lot of the players that played for him, and they're like, he was brutal. He's like, "You did something wrong." And he's like, and so I've got all this in my mind. I'm like, "Oh my God, I hope I don't top it." That's probably the most nervous I've ever been.
If you could only do one exercise for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
Ooh. No thinking, huh? Sprints.
If you weren't pursuing the Champions Tour, how would you be spending your years in the 50s?
Finance.
Favorite guilty pleasure food? And it better be guilty.
Oh, I mean, pizza. Lou Malnati's pizza, actually, or Pepe's Pizza in New Haven. Lou Malnati's from Chicago. Yeah, pizza's I could eat it every day.
How many hole-in-ones?
2, actually. A par 3 and a par 4.
Favorite way to relax outside of golf?
With my family at the beach.
And don't make us feel too bad. Longest drive in competition?
480.
Shut up.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right, we're done here. That's
480.
Yeah, 480 yards.
80.
Dadgummit.
My first car couldn't even drive that far.
Yeah, that was a bomb. It was downwind probably 15, 16 miles an hour. It was in Phoenix. It was about 105 degrees. It was the final to qualify for the World Championship Finals back in 2018, and just I absolutely smoked it. It flew at like 435 in the air.
My goodness, it's just
that's incredible.
I was swinging great.
Back to you, Neil.
All right, so Eddie, when you qualify later this year to be on the Champions Tour, will you still compete on the World Long Drive Tour?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably I might do the Masters division. It all depends on what's going on. I mean, when I first got into long drive in 2013, I wanted to use it as a platform to play again. So to get my name out there and hopefully do some cool things. I had some goals, and I'll go over a couple things that a plan that I kind of came up with in 2014. I've kind of revised it over over the years, about 5 points of athletic excellence. And the cool thing is I think I've done a pretty good job of it. A lot of guys reach out to me, and I believe in paying it forward. I like helping out guys who reach out and they say, "Hey, I'm new to long drive. I've seen your swing, and can you give me any advice?" And I'll respond to them. I have no problem helping guys out, because there's some guys that helped me out when I first came out, and I've got a lot of good friends out there now, and we're all good friends, but when we're facing each other, it's
yeah,
you want to rip their throats out, So, but yeah, we'll kind of see. We'll see what happens. But playing is my future, and I'm just excited for an opportunity to play again, and I think it's going to be good, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. It's time. I just believe it's my time, and just kind of my progression from I just started playing again in January, and from my progression from January to now are leaps and bounds, and just hitting little shots around the greens that I didn't have when I played 20 years ago, and I just I'll hit it farther, and I hit it better, and it's just everything is better, and I've got the support of my wife and my kids and my friends and family, and yeah, it's just blessed.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Eddie, I got a question here.
Yeah.
We talked about you playing the 62 and 63. I know you're just getting the strategy to, the iron or the hybrids 280. You got to tone it down. But all right, coming down the wire, Champions Tour, tied with, several of those guys, Bernhard, Langer.
Yeah.
That hold is 380. You could hit this green.
Yeah.
What are you doing, man? But your strategy going into the tournament was like, all right, I'm gonna lay up here. What are you doing, man?
Well, it depends. It depends on if I'm a shot back.
Okay.
And I mean, if I'm a shot back and there's not a lot of trouble up there, because I mean, I'm a good wedge player, so I have no problem. I mean, it depends on what's up there. But if it's 380 and there's not a lot up there, and I need to make birdie, I mean, yeah, you could probably. I would probably rip out the driver.
That's worth the price of admission there.
And let it go.
It is.
You know, and let it go. But yeah, I mean, I have no problem doing that. I have no problem altering the plan if the plan is to win, because it's about winning. It's about trophies. It's about putting myself in the best position to win. And if that means, hitting a driver on the last hole, needing to make a birdie, then that's what I'll do.
Well, that's going to be fun to watch. That's going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah.
I think you'll have a lot of people following you out there when they will let you back out there, man.
Yeah.
We talked about it earlier about the Jason. Could you go a little bit more detail on what it means to you to do the Jason Day charity event every year?
Yeah, no, it's cool. The cool thing is I've had tour players reach out to me. I talked to a bunch of them at Bay Hill, and it's kind of like, wow, this guy knows who I am. It's like, it's weird. But I think they appreciate, what I've done and what some of us do on the World Long Drive Tour. It's like, to swing 145 miles an hour plus is, they can't do that. But I think the cool thing is to talk to Jason or talk to Bryson or, Patrick Rogers, or some of these guys reach out to me through social media and say, hey man, I love your swing. And they kind of pick my brain a little bit, and I have no problem sharing with them, what I do. And it's pretty cool. It's very humbling, when those type of players, and especially, last week when Tiger, when he was analyzing my swing and he was saying, awesome, well done. And just, it was like, wow, that was like an aha moment. It's like the greatest ever is, giving me props for my golf swing. So, but yeah, just blessed I'm able to do what I'm able to do, and kind of put a plan together in 2014, and everything is kind of coming to fruition, but I've got a lot more to do. So it's, I'm really looking forward, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And I know too that, tell us, when you make it, you will be the first to represent the World Long Drive Tour on any major tour. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so. I know Jamie Sidlowski's trying to play. He made it through first stage of Corn Ferry last year, missed the cut at second. But yeah, I believe I will be. And there's not a lot of, there's a lot of good players. There's a lot of really, really good players that do long drive. A lot of scratch players, a lot of plus handicaps. I think Kyle Berkshire is like a +1 or +2. And
Justin Moose played college golf.
Moose is a really good player.
Yeah.
My handicap right now, I was getting in the men's association, so I had to have a handicap. So I'm a +6.4 right now at Bella. So just something.
Yeah, no. Say it again. What'd you say?
Yeah, plus 6.4 index. So
at Bella.
I don't want to play anyone for money. Good Lord, I'd have to give, way too many shots.
Oh my gosh.
But it's fun. It's fun playing with my friends and stuff, and I try to focus on a little tournament within a tournament. Like TJ and I will play, and we'll be like, okay, last 3 holes, you're one back or whatever. We're playing these holes, and it's good. It's getting into that mindset of playing and rolling in a 6-footer and needing the birdie 18 to go in a playoff or something. So we do like mini tournaments. So I'll play 3 rounds in a row, and TJ will be like, all right, there's, winning score is 13 under or 14 under. So, so I'll go out and I'll kind of get a game plan for what I need to do and stick to it and see where it goes. The 62-63, I think, might've been leading after 2 rounds.
Yeah, I would think so. Jeez.
Yeah. Scotty McCarron can take it low. All those guys can take it low out there. That's what's crazy.
Yes, I mean there's so many good players. These guys are so, I'm just looking forward to rubbing shoulders with those guys, and I mean these are the guys I watched when I was supporting my family. I after 04 is just, I had to take care of my family, and people, were like, where have you been? And life shows up, and you gotta do what you gotta do and take care of your family, and that's what I did. But now is the time, and everyone supports me. So everyone in my circle and my team, and I couldn't be happier. I'm really excited about the challenge, and just moving forward, and just keep getting better.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kyle and I can definitely tell your sincerity. You're genuine, you're humble, giving back to the game. It's been a true pleasure to have you on this show, man. And we'll have you back again when you get on Champions Tour.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
And I tell you what, you're doing a great thing for the game of golf, and your attitude, I know you're going to keep it going and paying it forward, which is impressive. So thank you for being on our show. We really appreciate it, Eddie.
You got it. One more thing, Neil, real quick. One of the big things, I forgot to mention this, but I've been working with Paul Dooland, mental coach here in Florida. I met him. His daughter actually played on my son's Little League team.
Okay.
And he works with some PGA Tour players, some LPGA Tour players, and he has been incredible for me from a mindset standpoint and a perception standpoint as well. So I just wanted to give him a shout out because he's really got me on the right track mentally, and so it's I owe him a lot too, and it's just like everything is kind of falling into place, right? It's just, and Paul, he's such a great guy, and he's helped me out so much, and TJ and Lucas and Jeff and everyone in my on my team, and I just couldn't be happier, and just extremely blessed to be doing this. So
that's awesome. The psychology part of it.
Don't.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I tell you what, a lot of people do not take advantage of that. They work on all technique, and they don't get into the Bob Rotella stuff and all that. And I tell you what, that is 99% of it once you got the mechanics, as you know.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, I can hit every shot in the book, but now it's just, I'm getting that mental fortitude, and I'm understanding, routine and preparation, and you can only control what you control. I mean, you can't control it after the ball leaves the club face. So like Michael Jordan, I don't know if you saw the Last Dance, but Michael Jordan said, why would I worry about a shot I haven't taken yet? Exactly. And I thought that was profound, right? So the greatest basketball player in the history of basketball said, what's the big deal? I mean, why would I be nervous, or why would I worry about a shot I haven't taken yet? And that just kind of like, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. And you've done it thousands of times, man.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you've freed up that putting stroke.
Oh, for sure.
And it looks amazing. I tell you what, you're very athletic over that. I'm more impressed with that, watching you from a playing standpoint. That looks really, really good.
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, I've been making some putts, and just the work I've done with TJ, and just kind of freeing it up and being athletic, and kind of see target, hit target. And that's one thing, Neil, real quick. I don't know how much more time we have.
Take all the time you want, Eddie. We're good.
No, but I've never really been target oriented, believe it or not.
Okay.
Off the tee and into the greens, but never around the greens. I never really picked a target where to land it, or, putting to a spot, like an intermediate target, and then, feeling the distance. I've never done that before until now. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, my last 2 rounds, I make 16 birdies, 2 eagles, and a bogey. It's like, okay,
it's working.
It's getting fun, so it's I'm definitely at that next level, and it's just going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And you're not on your putting. I mean, obviously you got some mechanics, but on what you talk about target, you're not thinking about that stroke at all, are you? You're just all into the feel and visualization.
I am a little bit, just because it's new. Some of the things that we've been working on are a little bit new, but it feels flowy. It feels really good. The ball is just rolling beautiful, and I can feel it when it comes off the the club face, the putter face. It's just like rolling. I'm rolling the ball now. I'm not just hitting a putt. I'm rolling the ball, and I think that's going to be huge, because you know, when I get asked all the time, well, how's your putting? I'm like, well, actually, you know, pretty good. So, well, yeah, it's just, you know, putting is an art, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just if I'm athletic in my golf swing, you know, why not be athletic with the putter? It just makes sense, right?
It absolutely makes sense.
I'm an athlete. Why would I try to be robotic with the putter and try to guide it and everything else? Just free it up, just like my golf swing, just like I'm hitting a driver. Just let it go. And we're really making some strides there. So
and I can tell you on the right mental attitude, when you said the tour average was 50% from 8 feet, I can tell that was a huge deal for you, because you were probably too perfectionist, thinking I got to make 8 out of 8, and you're like, gosh, I'm not any good because I ain't make. Oh gosh, I can make 4 out of 8. I'm okay. It doesn't matter if you miss it, right? If you make a good putt.
And now I've been a golfer all my life, right? Yeah. So if somebody had asked me, what's the tour average from 8 feet? I would have said at least 6 out of 8, at least.
I think I would have said that too. Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
The greens are perfect. They're the best in the world. How 50%? Are you kidding me? So now when I got an 8-footer, I'm like, all right, well, whatever.
Free up, baby.
It's just like, it's amazing. When I finally saw those stats, it was like, it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely blew my mind. 17% or 18% from 20 feet. So I got a 20-footer. I'm not going to even make 1 out of 5. Okay, I can do this.
Exactly. And I tell you, that is the same mindset of like Allen Iverson playing basketball back in the day. The dude is like 1 out of 13 from 3-pointers, fourth quarter on the line, and he shoots that 3-pointer, makes 2 or 3 in a row. He never doubted. He didn't care. He just kept shooting. And
you can't. You know, Faxon said he doesn't care if he makes or misses. And guess what? He makes a lot of putts. Same thing with Crenshaw. Mm-hmm. And look at how flowy their strokes are, so flowy. Just it's awesome to watch.
Which is one of the most amazing Instagrams with Tiger taking the advice from Crenshaw. Was it before the 97 tournament about getting the flow and like releasing the putter head?
Like getting the putter head behind the hands in the backswing.
Yeah.
So it's almost like getting it here and just, you know, get whatever you put into it, you got, or take out of it, you got to put back into it. So it's like, wow, it's pretty incredible. Like we videoed my putting stroke the other day, and I was sending them to TJ, and I felt like I was Bobby Locke. I felt like I'm doing this, right? And then I see it, I'm like, oh my God. I mean, there's like, it's like hardly, it doesn't even look like anything, but it felt like I was like totally flipping it into the ball, but it wasn't. It was like, wow, the ball's just rolling so beautifully. So
that's how rigid you were.
Pretty cool stuff. Yeah. It's pretty wild.
Dude, that's awesome. I got one last question. I don't think we asked this.
Sure thing.
What's your current club head speed and ball speed when you go after it?
When I go after it with my play driver, I can get up to 136, 203, 204. So that's like gear 5. Usually when I'm playing, I'm 126 to 130. I'm just kind of smoothing it out there. So 193 to 196 ball speed when I want to get on, and when I've got the green light, when there's not a lot of trouble, you know, I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go 135, 136, 203 plus ball speed if I hit it in the center.
Faster than anybody on tour.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
On PGA Tour. Not Champions, PGA Tour.
Yeah, Jason Dave's like, dude, you'd be the longest player by like 20 or 30 yards on the PGA Tour, let alone the Champions Tour. Woo. So, but there's some, like I said, you know, these guys on the Champions Tour, they're such great players, and I'm looking forward to playing with them and learning too. You know, I want to learn from, you know, God willing, they'll help me out a little bit, learning the ropes, and I think I can help them out as well. But I'm looking forward to competing and just the opportunity to play. So.
All right, I tell you what. Again, thank you, Eddie. That was awesome.
You got
ready to go smash the driver. I'm Kyle's
let's go.
After this,
I've been on Golf Now right now. We're not sponsored by them, but the hell with it. I'm gonna go pick up my tee time. Let's get after it. When are we gonna go play?
We're
let's go. Let's go out and play.
We will. We'll set that up with TJ.
Yeah, we'll get TJ
been talking about for 2 years. TJ, you're listening. time to back it up, bro.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks again, man. BGI would also like to thank all our listeners, our subscribers, followers of the Barnhill Golf Institute. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and to share with your friends. Again, thanks to all our amazing business partners, Wilson Golf, Flight Scope, SkyTrak and SkyCaddy, Tour Striker, True Speed Golf, the Force Pedals, the Net Return, the WEC Method, and Real Field Golf Mats. Check out all of our business partner links below, as well as our Patreon link. And next week, I'm not going to give you any hints, but it's going to be an amazing podcast. We have another guest that you want to stay tuned, and we'll let you know per Instagram and Facebook. So everybody out there, have a great week, and we'll see you then.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Eddie. Really do appreciate it.